Hello, fourth graders. This is Mrs. Dixon, and we're talking about using the standard algorithm to multiply today. And so our learning target is I can use the standard algorithm to multiply a two-digit number by a two-digit number. And then our language objective continues to be I can explain the strategy I use to multiply. And there are a couple sentence stems to assist you when you're having conversations with your teachers and other classmates. Let's go ahead and get started with setting up our notebook. Here is the topic for our lesson today, multiplying two-digit by two-digit numbers. And I then wrote terms and notes to set my notebook up for two-column notes. Remember, at any time you can pause this video to get caught up on the note taking. Let's go ahead and start the video.
What is a common way to record multiplication? Think about this question during the lesson. A ferry carried an average of 37 cars per trip on a Saturday. If the ferry made 24 one-way trips, how many cars did the ferry take? What operation should you choose to join equal groups of cars?
Notice that the key words were equal groups. Ask yourself, do I have a total? No. That's what I'm trying to find. And I have equal groups. So I have multiplication. Let's continue.
Multiply to find 24 times 37. What does it mean to say that the ferry carried an average of 37 cars per trip? Were there exactly 37 cars on each trip? An average is not an exact count. Some trips had more or less than 37 cars, but each trip had about 37 cars. What numbers would you use for an estimate?
Remember, you can use estimation to get a ballpark number for your product, and that will help you kind of check yourself for mistakes.
20 times 40 are the numbers used for an estimate.
Let's write this in our notebook. Notice I wrote the word estimate, and I also wrote that in my terms. And I rounded 37 to 40, 24 to 20, and when I multiplied, I got 800. And note what I wrote. You can estimate to get a reasonable product.
Why does it help to estimate before multiplying? It helps you catch mistakes. If the exact answer is not close to 800, you probably made a mistake. Make a bar diagram to show the problem. Multiply to solve. Multiply the ones. Regroup if necessary. When you multiply,
Let's write this in our notebook because this is a really important skill we're learning, standard algorithm. So we want to make sure we write our steps down so that we can do this and refer back to our notebook if we need to. So I wrote standard algorithm down and then I wrote the problem. And notice I wrote multiply once, regroup if necessary. And I also wrote the note both digits of top number. So I'm not just multiplying 4 times 7, which would be 28, and then I would regroup my two tens. I also have to multiply the 4 in the ones digit by 3 of the tens digit of the top number. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 4, the 2 that I regrouped is 14. So my first partial product is 148.
by the ones, will you need to regroup? Yes. You will need to regroup the 28 ones as 2 tens and 8 ones. Multiply the tens.
Okay, so now the next step is multiply the tens. Notice that I put in what I call a place value 0. We will go ahead and do that when we write in our notebook.
Regroup if necessary. Now add the ones and the tens.
So right now, as you can see, we have two partial products. Let's go ahead and add this part into our notebook. Okay, so notice that my second step that I wrote down was write a place value 0 in the ones before you multiply the tens. So on this second, I call it kind of like the second level, but it's the second partial product for our tens multiplication. Because we're multiplying by tens, we need to put a place value 0 in the ones because we've already used the ones. So make sure that you don't forget this. If you forget to put your place value 0 in, you will not get the correct answer when you add. So then I did 2 times 7 is 14. So I wrote my 4 ones down and I regrouped the 110. As you can see right up here, there's a 1. So then I say 2 times 3 plus 1. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And that is how I got 740. The final step of standard algorithm is to add the partial products. So 8 plus 0 is 8, 4 plus 4 is 8, and 1 plus 7 is 8.
What are the partial products?
Well, our partial products are 148 when we multiplied our ones, and 740 when we multiplied our tens.
The partial products are 148 and 740. Why is the second partial product 740 and not 74? Because the second partial product is 20 times 37, not 2 times 37. The ferry carried 888 cars on Saturday. Now you know how to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers.
Let's look at our notes again to finalize and write a summary, and then also try one more problem. Here's my notebook. Notice that my summary, I wrote, this is how to use the standard algorithm to multiply. If you want to add a summary to your notebook page, it can help you apply the writing skills you're learning to math, and it can help extend your learning that way. Let's try another problem. So I'm going to activate the pencil. My first step in my notebook was to estimate. So I'm going to go ahead and estimate real fast. So 45 would round to 50, and 27 would round to 30. So 50 times 30 will give me an estimate of this problem. 2 zeros, and 3 times 5 is 15. So my answer is going to be around 1,500. If my answer is not, then I know I made a mistake. So let's go ahead and do step 1, which is multiply the ones. 7 times 5 is 35. So I write my ones down and I regroup my tens, which I had 3 tens. So I regroup the tens. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 3 is 31. And I'm adding the regroup tens. Next step, mark my place value 0 because I've already used the ones. So I need to make sure that I remember that this is really 20 times 5, not 2 times 5. So if I put my place value 0 in, I have marked that ones as 0. 2 times 5 is 10. So I write down the ones and I carry or regroup the 110. 2 times 4, some people like once they've used this, they cross it out. So 2 times 4 plus 1 is 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So now I have my two partial products that I am going to add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 1 plus 0 is 1. 3 plus 9 is 12. So the answer that I got was 1,215. And that is pretty close to 1,500, especially when I think about that I had 45, which is the midpoint between 40 and 50. So this looks correct. Hope this helped, and good luck with multiplying using the standard algorithm. Talk to you soon.